Is SEO evolving? Do we need to be incorporating AI search readiness in our 2025 strategies?
I think we've been needing to incorporate AI search readiness, as the internet's phrasing it, for when we started planning 2025 budgets. Being completely transparent, I think it's a channel which, in its own right, if we're sleepwalking into it, will potentially cause problems in certain sectors. I mean, it's always going to be sector dependent. Um, if you're selling holidays or homeware or sneakers, it's going to be very different to if you're selling actuated pneumatic valves. Your audience is very different. They shop in different ways, and I very highly doubt that people are going on TikTok and doing TikTok shop for pneumatic drill, commercial pneumatic drills and things like that. I mean, I might be completely wrong on that, and I look forward to someone in the comments telling me that I am. But I think with the search readiness, we need to be ready for certain different things. There's going to be more and more zero-click searches, especially within Google, just because AI overviews are quite prominent. They're quite engaging. They actively want you to engage. They want you to ask follow-up questions. The Google Learn About, which launched in beta not long ago, is a very good example of how it's a ecosystem retainer, as opposed to a here's a result, go outside of the ecosystem to be satisfied kind of thing. But this kind of bypass need is going to be a cultural shift. I think there's going to be a period of time where people will still look for websites and still look to perform different actions on specific websites, but much like how, I mean, we all see it on Instagram and well, I see it on Instagram Reels. I'm not on TikTok for consumption purposes, but when people do the whole how do you make a telephone sign, and they do the whole like everyone will do this, and then other people will do that because that's what the new generation do. It's going to be a similar thing here. There's going to be the generations of, well, we'll still use Google, we'll still do different things, and there might be slight adoption, but the complete adoption of AI and TikTok and other things as search agents is going to be a generational thing. The other thing we need to be looking at, really, I mean, I say the other thing was three main things. The second is really the marketing metric side of things. The focus purely on traffic and rankings in SEO has always been quite topical. I think for the most part for myself, it's always been quite an arbitrary kind of metric because you can always have good rankings in traffic, but not actually cause conversions. Um, it's kind of almost a diminishing return if you're going to be driving more traffic to a site now and optimizing solely for search engines. It's about understanding where your audience is looking. Google and organic search is predominantly, at least in my opinion, for a foreseeable future, always going to have a strong part of this. But it's about understanding where new channels are going to come in and interrupt your user journey for considered purchases. Are they researching on Google? Then are they researching on TikTok? Who is targeting them with follow-up advertisements? What information am I getting? Is it right information? Is it misinformation? Um, are people coming to various stages of the funnel, the traditional funnel that we've had for many years, more informed or less informed than they have previously? And because of this, we need to be understanding what our metrics are and not just kind of arbitrarily looking at traffic and rankings. But I mean, Google Analytics 4 is wonderful for this, for the amount of events you can set up, looking at engagement sessions, things like that. And really, as well, it's about being cognizant and monitoring what your audience is looking at in terms of the channel. And the third thing, really, I want to kind of touch on this with what future is it's about how we change the content strategy up. So it's about thinking about not just here's some content to rank for certain keywords. It's here's content to achieve certain user needs. Here's content to be prominent at certain stages of the funnel. It's I mean, we've been moving away from that for at least a decade anyway, but it's about creating credibility. It's about showcasing expertise. It's the real differences. I think because the landscape is shifting so much as it is, there's a lot of hesitancy, there's a lot of anxiety, there's concern, there's still a lot of unknowns that we're still unpicking across a lot of how this works. But the one thing which we do need to change the mindset on, and it's kind of similar to a mindset of what it is for Google Discover, there are correlations of how you can appear in these things, but setting a target of, oh, you should definitely go away and, oh, I know, we want to appear for these 100 keywords in ChatGPT search, for example, or we want to appear for these 50 keywords in Perplexity results. I don't think they're achievable, and I don't think they're realistic metrics to be setting, but that comes from a mindset shift of, if I put in, or basically an input-output relationship, whereas, and I've said in other videos as well, with a lot of out-of-home advertisements, like, no one questions the ROI of a billboard in an integrated out-of-home communications campaign. What they look at is how it is performing overall. So it's almost, so some parts of SEO, especially higher up the funnel, where we're competing more with AI, LLMs, or there might be further disruption in certain sectors, it is a case of protectionism against traffic. It's about brand visibility. It's creating need brand touch points, the NTBs. And then it's looking at the overall picture as opposed to the individual compounds and some of their parts. Oh, you're on mute, Holly.
Thank you very much, Dan. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this short insight video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more.